Alrighty, here we go. Now, as things heat up here, things couldn't get any worse. So now, what we have here, okay, my friends, okay, is a situation here. All right, let's get this party started here. All right, man, you are watching Political Point Magazine. Yes. Where the right is right and the left, well, the left is always on the wrong side of history. Why? Because political minds want to know. So enjoy a conservative point of view. And let's talk pea soup. With tonight's top stories. Yes. Well, the VA scandal is now in crisis mode and puts Obama on the defensive as the VA Chief Secretary Shinseki resigns in disgrace over the whole matter. And we have another leak blunder. Much that kind of puts a CIA agent or a military agent in trouble or in danger, and the White House in trouble. Yep, kind of like the Valerie Plame thing. And also, De Blasio and Cuomo are at odds with each other on policies and how to woo the liberals. You gotta get a load of this. And also, we have a bad deal over the release of an army sergeant. Now, it's kind of in the news now. It's quite disturbing what the Obama administration is doing here. So, on that note, we will also take it to the calls and talk to you, the viewer, on all of this and more on Political Point Magazine. And I am here, your host, William Mitro. All right, my friends. Yes, welcome. Welcome. You know, my friends, it disturbs me quite a bit of what has been going on in the news lately. All right, now, my friends, this is quite interesting, and we need to pay attention to what is going on because, my friends, I have come to the conclusion that this administration, the Obama administration, is full of amateurs. That's right, amateurs. And the number one big amateur that we have in the White House is the President of the United States himself. All right? I mean, this guy just doesn't get it. All right? Obama is a complete abomination. All right? And it just disturbs me about how everything has been coming into play and the policies of this man. All right, the policies. You know, people don't understand. Policies matter. Okay, policies matter. And what is the deal with this president? I mean, this president compares himself to Bill Clinton, right? All right, but he's doing everything totally opposite of Clinton. Now, Bill Clinton, as you know, tried to play the pragmatist president. All right, and this comes as, things are you know the first 2 years of Clinton's administration were chaotic because Hillary tried to run everything, and this, my friends, we have a situation here, okay, as as things heat up, here, okay. Now, Clinton raised taxes, which led to a recession. All right, and that was from the beginning. Okay, in the beginning of his administration, he raised taxes, because that's the kind of man he really was. He was a liberal. He wasn't a pragmatist, at per se. When he was, and people say that, he balanced the budget. He created surplus. We had surplus under Clinton, right? But that wasn't done until after the Republicans took control of Congress. Because you see, here's something that people don't understand. Okay, now I've been following this for a long time now. A long time now. I've been so trenched and deep into politics, my friends, that this is where I need to point out the left. Okay, the error of their ways. Because they have this idea that, it was all due to Clinton and what he did that we had surplus and everything. Yeah, sure, but Clinton didn't do that. Clinton didn't do that alone. He actually worked with the Republicans in Congress, because if you remember, in 1994 was the midterm elections, and the Republicans regained control of both houses of Congress. All right. So everything under the Clinton administration in the 1990s happened due to what Congress did. All right. If you remember, there was the contract with America under Newt Gingrich, right? Okay, Newt Gingrich, who is an exceptional person in politics today. All right, Newt Gingrich, this is the same man that had the contract with America and the balanced budget amendment in that contract with America. And in that balanced budget amendment, they had the line item veto for the president to eliminate all the pork barrel projects. And that's what balanced the budget. That's what created surplus. All right. It wasn't anything that Clinton did. It was what the Republicans did in Congress. All right. So that is something I need to make clear. All right. Because over the years now, all right, okay, even into the Bush administration, okay. Now, this is where things were actually better. All right. You don't believe me, but I mean, you liberals around here don't believe me, but it's all true. All right. What the Republicans did in Congress under Clinton and Bush, all right, is what helped save the economy. All right. For 12 years, from 95 to 2006, all right, actually 2007, okay, the Republicans were in control of both houses of Congress, okay, and it was due to these policies through the Republican control, all right, from Clinton to Bush, that we actually had a greater economy under those two presidents. Okay. Because under Bush, 7 out of 8 years we had the highest economic growth period in history. Okay. we had the lowest unemployment rate. All right. More people were employed, more people had jobs under George W. Bush. All right. And we had a situation here that goes without saying, my friends, that that sure, 9/11 happened under George W. Bush, but it's what George W. Bush did after 9/11 that protected us from terrorism. All right. And now, speaking of this, my friends, okay, both Obama and Clinton are horrible at fighting terrorism. All right. All right. That's the one thing that they had in common. Okay. Everything else, Obama is doing everything totally opposite. Okay. Because Obama refuses to work with the Republicans, even though the Republicans have the better policies and they know what needs to be done. All right. And and he is so pig-headed that he is trying to ram down our throats now this stupid EPA regulation bullcrap to try to crack down on carbon emissions, right? Because he's still vexed on this global warming. Okay, you'll have to excuse my voice because it's a little hoarse because I lost my temper last night, but that over a small matter, but that's all right. But anyhow, this stupid EPA regulation, and this all goes back to what Obama tried to do before in 2009 with cap and trade, okay, which failed miserably because it couldn't even pass. Cap and trade couldn't even pass when the Democrats controlled both of houses of Congress. It's just it's just ridiculous. I mean, they have everything lined up as to say that things will ultimately get better. All right, but ultimately people are feeling the pain. All right, people are feeling the pain, my friends. All right, and it all makes drastic. It makes for drasticity, okay? Because and people out there, they're just, we have now 5 scandals now, 5 big major scandals under the Obama administration, okay? 5 big major scandals here, all right? And it's not looking good for the Obama administration. All right. Okay. Like now we have the the VA scandal. Okay. The VA scandal, which now puts Obama at odds. Okay, on the defensive. All right. As we say here. Okay. This time President Obama did not wait. As the New York Times reports it, okay, confronted by reporters of mismanagement and besieged by members of his own party, he gave in to the pressure and performed the sort of ritual Washington sacrifice he has resisted in other times of crisis, okay, over the last 5 years, okay, because you know that Obama is totally horrible at with crisis like this, okay. So what do we have here? We have here the Fast and Furious, okay. We have here the IRS scandal. Okay, we have here the reported. We have here the Benghazi scandal. Okay, which they messed up so badly. And then targeting reporters. Okay, scandal, that scandal, and now the VA scandal. Okay, 5 horrible scandals under one administration, the Obama administration. That's right. Okay. President Obama is the most scandalous president we have ever had. All right. There's more scandals under this president. You know, not just these 5. There's others too. You know, there's the Secret Service scandal. You know, that happened under Obama. All right, and this makes it worse than Watergate. Mm-hmm. Yep. And you know what? And in the midst of all of this, okay, the VA chief, the VA secretary, Shinseki, resigns in disgrace. This man is the enemy. Okay, because now it's all coming due, my friends. It's all coming due because, okay, Eric Shinseki resigned as Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs on Friday, leaving behind a sprawling bureaucracy, okay, embroiled in scandal, and burdened with a decades-old legacy of overwhelmed facilities and management failures that his successor must now confront. Okay, President Obama announced Mr. Shinseki's departure after a 45-minute Oval Office meeting between the two men, ending in ended a week of mounting demands from both parties for the secretary to step down. All right. Yep. So this is bipartisan. Okay. The VA secretary now, Shinseki, now resigns in disgrace amidst all of this. Do we finally have some accountability here? All right. Because as I mentioned previously, in the last episode, that we've had this problem before. Okay. Under the George W. Bush, but now it's way worse. Okay, and the veterans now are waiting for their care. Okay, apparently there was a secret waiting list. Okay, in the VA. All right, and already there's been a few veterans that have already died waiting for their health care. All right, so now the R word comes into play, and that is rationing. We have rationed health care for our vets. This sounds a lot like Obamacare because there's long waiting lines. Okay, and people have lost their health care. You know, this is at the absolute worst now. The worst thing would be to put our vets on Obamacare. And this, my friends, is just the worst thing that we could ever do. Okay? And it's quite ridiculous. We have this going on, and you know it sounds familiar. The warning that I put out, okay, that this VA thing brings to light that now, okay, this VA thing brings to light now what we conservative Republicans have been warning about all along. Okay? Is that if you vote for Obama and if you vote Democrat, there will be disaster. Okay? And even after, or even before the Affordable Care Act was put into play, all right, even before the Affordable Care Act, it was put into play, we all were saying that if this thing goes through, which it did, which they rammed it through our throats, we will have this. We will have this result of which chaos we have now doctor shortages in the VA. There's also doctor shortages for anybody in Obamacare too. Okay? You cannot keep your doctor. You cannot have your go to the same facility that you want to. All right? We Republicans all warned about this. But no. Take a listen. No. This all happened under Obama now, and now we're paying the price. We're paying the price for it. That's right. And my friends, this isn't even the tip of the iceberg now. All right, Obama's been president for 6 years now, 6 years now, and now even the unions now are upset about Obamacare. Okay, the unions, the core group that supported Obama, now are against Obamacare. All right, they're all, and everybody's seeing through this thing. All right, it's just ridiculous that we have all of this. Okay, and I am convinced that we have amateurs in the White House, in the cabinet. Okay, Shinseki is an amateur. He what sort of experience did he have? Okay, and then we had the Secretary of Health and Human Services resign, Sebelius. What experience did she have or knowledge or anything? She wasn't any sort of a doctor or anything, or any sort of medical expert. And she resigns in disgrace because of the debacle of Obamacare. My friends, it's just ridiculous. All right. And so we see what's going on here. Okay. In fact, on O'Reilly, Charles Krauthammer had something on the O'Reilly factor about a meeting that Obama had at some sort of place, and we have the clip, all right, which I'm going to show you in a moment, okay? But you have got to see this, all right. But we have tons of scandals here, all right, under the Obama administration, all right, tons of scandals here, okay, and President Obama is just embroiled in it, This is the biggest mistake that anybody could ever make, is electing and re-electing President Obama. Okay, this is just the disgrace in the White House. All right, now if both McCain and Romney warned that disaster would strike, okay, disaster would strike if Obama was elected. Okay, disaster would strike if Obama was elected. All right, and the American people, you know, they just didn't listen for some reason. Okay, for some odd and silly reason. Okay, but now, all right, but now, let me get to this clip of O'Reilly's interview with Charles Krauthammer. Okay, Charles Krauthammer was on the O'Reilly Factor. But take a look at this. Okay, take a look at this. Okay, all right.
Charles, moments away.
Oh wait, hold on a second. Okay, anyhow. All right. Anyhow, here it is. Okay, here it is. All right. So.
Did I miss anything?
No, I think you got it right, and I think you got the one that's going to hurt the president the most absolutely right. There's no question that Obamacare is going to hurt the Democrats in November and also in 2016, because it's not so much the scandalous part of it, it's the fact that it's the embodiment and sort of the symbol of this kind of Obama hyperliberalism and intrusiveness, and because it affects people where they live. People don't end up in the voting booth reacting so much to scandal as they are to stuff that happens in their own lives. Losing their health insurance. Some of them losing full-time employment, so their hours are cut. Some of them are going to lose their employer-provided health insurance. There's going to be, and of course others with high premiums and high deductibles. There are going to be millions of Americans directly affected,
yes,
and it's going to affect them negatively.
But here's why it's a scandal, though. Here's why it's a scandal, because
I was about to tell you.
Oh, all right. Well, I could probably do it more succinctly than you. It was promised that costs would go down and then everybody would have their same health care that they had before. So the promise was hollow. And that's going to tee people off, in addition to, as you pointed out, the wallet impacting.
Well, I would put it slightly more succinctly and say that the president said, if you like your plan, you can keep it. And it turned out to be a deliberate lie, a lie that he knew wasn't true at the time.
How do you know that it was deliberate? Why do you say that? Maybe it was the hyperbole that all politicians use to sell their program.
I don't often use the word, but if you go back to a meeting the president held with a bunch of congressmen in Blair House at the beginning of the Obamacare debate, I believe this happened in late '09 or perhaps in 2010, and he had Paul Ryan, all the others at the table, and you look at the transcript, it is very clear that the president was made aware in that meeting, openly and in public, that there were people who would lose their plans, large numbers of people. The president acknowledges that in that meeting, and that long predates the many, many times that the president made the promise.
And let me ask
if you like your plan, you can keep it.
Okay. And that's why we love you, because you back up your blunt assertions with facts. So let me ask you this.
Succinct is the word I would use, yes.
Well, I mean, not many people know about a transcript from the Blair House. I didn't know about it, but you did, and that's why we pay you the big dollars here. But let me ask you this, because this is now troubling. So you've got a president of the United States who acknowledges in your description that a lot of people will be thrown off the insurance rolls and that the costs are going to be higher than he himself has portrayed. Yet he goes on after that and still mouths the stuff that he knows isn't true. That is a very troubling situation, because then you have a dishonest man as commander-in-chief.
Well,
am I wrong?
Presidents shading the truth all the time.
But this is more than shading, though.
Well, this one is more troubling than most, because remember, there was other reporting apart from this meeting at the Blair House. There was reporting of major arguments within the president's inner circle about whether to promise that you'd be able to keep your plan and your doctor or not, with some of the advisors saying, look, this is not true, so we shouldn't say it. Others, knowing that this was going to be very hard to get through the Congress, and it passed by a whisker, as you know, with no support from
the
a single
Republicans, right.
Republicans, that they said, well, we're going to go for it, and we'll worry about it later. The other thing that factors into this is this administration knows how much the press wants to protect it. That's why on Benghazi, you say, how could they have told this ridiculous fable on the 5 networks, have Susan Rice go out there and say it's a result of a video, when it was known within the administration that it was not. And the reason they would err on the side of telling a fable is because they would figure that the press would not be very interested in this, very inquisitive about
Right.
this.
They wouldn't hold
up
them
until
accountable.
Election Day. And in fact, that's how it happened. There was no interest up to Election Day. And
And you see, so you hear it here, all right, and you also hear it on this program, all right, that the president in a meeting chose to go with a blatant lie about Obamacare and the healthcare system. All right. So this, my friends, is quite disturbing. Obama is just embroiled in scandal, and that, my friends, is quite telling. That, the people should have listened to the Republicans. All right. This is why we needed. This is why we needed a savior, but Obama's not the savior. All right. And now, my friends, I want to bring it to another story that is in the news. All right. Okay. There's a leak blunder. Okay. That puts an agent, a military agent, in danger, and the White House kind of in trouble over this. Okay. So there was a military agent in Afghanistan, okay, whose name was released in the press, right? And there was a meeting, right, in there, all right, for in this, and there was a press meeting, a press release about it, and then the agent's name was released in that press release, and then it was distributed to other media print outlets. All right. And then it was shifted from the White House and then again to the press. All right. So then now we have a situation where an undercover agent's name was released or leaked out to the press by somebody in the administration, and this could put the White House and the administration in trouble. All right, because they're out there. This was an agent actually on the ground in Afghanistan. All right, whose name was released. All right, and this is more dangerous than the Valerie Plame thing. All right, this is more dangerous than the Valerie Plame thing. All right, so this blunder truly shows to me why we have amateurs in the federal government. And we have amateurs working for Obama. Okay? And Obama's the biggest amateur out there. Okay, in the White House. And he has a cabinet full of amateurs. All right. This little blunder here is why we cannot trust the Obama administration anymore. All right. And the thing with the VA, and my friends, it's just ridiculous. Okay. You can't trust these people. Okay. And and the New York Times now is also reporting that Obama is losing his press secretary, Jay Carney. Okay, as you see from this picture right here. All right, Jay Carney is said to be resigning. Okay, so now, could this be accountability for the press now? Because now, maybe it was Jay Carney that leaked this name. Because after all, Obama doesn't hear about these things until he sees them in the press. Fast and Furious. Yeah, he said he didn't hear anything about it until he saw it in press reports. Okay, Benghazi. He didn't find out about it until somebody in the media blurted it out. Yeah. The IRS. Oh yeah. He claims that he didn't find out about it until he saw it in the press. Okay. So now Jay Carney is said to be resigning. Do we have a scandalous press here? Interesting. Wow. But now, before I get to the phones here, I want to talk about this latest thing. And in the oh my gosh, this latest thing in the New York Post. All right, in the New York Post. All right. Okay. Take a look at that in the New York Post. Okay, before I get to the phone lines. Okay. That is Mayor of New York City de Blasio confronting Governor of New York Cuomo. Okay. And get this. Okay. So get this. Okay. And it's quite interesting. All right. But that we have something like this going on. All right. But anyhow, it's a totally fascinating story. All right. That you have to get into this. All right. Okay. But listen to this. Okay. Mayor de Blasio gave Governor Cuomo a lesson in left-wing politics 101 on Thursday. Okay, this was last Thursday actually, on Thursday. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yep. On Thursday. Okay. Yep. But take a listen to this. Okay. All right. And okay, making his point and wagging his finger at the governor on Staten Island. All right. Okay, take a listen to this. Okay, school was in session as the progressive city leader was spotted lecturing New York's centrist or seeming to be centrist governor, likely on how to win the hearts and minds of the state's super liberal working families party. Okay, now de Blasio's impromptu political seminar okay occurred before occurred before a bill signing ceremony. Okay, peaked in intensity just as a post photographer captured him wagging his finger at Cuomo. Okay, de Blasio has called for the Working Families Party to back Cuomo, despite the governor's opposition to some of the mayor's favorite liberal projects, such as crushing charter schools and raising taxes to pay for preschool. Okay, now support for the working families progressive movement, support from that group has dwindled and it's said that could boost Cuomo's re-election chances, but as polls show, a significant number of left-leaning voters would abandon the governor for another candidate on the third party's line. Now this is totally funny. Have you ever seen two Democrats go at it? Apparently, de Blasio and Cuomo are at odds with each other because I reported on it before that de Blasio is the extreme radical left wing liberal mayor, and he has raised taxes on the New Yorkers in New York City, and he has shown to be the true liberal politician, which is really bad for New York City. It's really bad, because businesses are leaving New York City because of the high taxes. Okay, New York is the highest tax state in America. It's alongside of California. All right. And these two New York politicians, okay, both Democrats, are at odds with each other over policies, liberal progressive policies that the Democrats share and love, all right? But yet Cuomo seems to be erring on the side of cutting taxes and all this other mess. All right, but it's totally funny. I'm gonna take this call now. All right, hello, you're on the air. What's on your political mind?
Mr. Will Metro, remember a couple weeks ago I was talking that people weren't getting their after-duty pay from the military, and it should be coming, once determined, within like at least 2 weeks of business weeks.
Yes.
It all unfolded on television. It's a mess.
Oh yeah, the VA is a disgrace now.
It's a disgrace that all these people went off to war or took the time and enlisted, and now they're not even covered.
Mm-hmm.
I had a dad out of Vietnam come home and live the street life, pushing a shopping cart. What a disgrace.
Yep.
He had to wait so long to get his disability, and by the time he got his disability, 6 months later, he died at 58 years old.
Yep, it's a disgrace. I mean, we had this problem under the Bush administration, and
yeah, it's been all the way, pretty much throughout.
But then when Obama became president in 2009, he promised he would fix things, and he made things worse.
Yeah. Well, at least it's getting addressed as an issue.
Yeah. Well, yeah. 6 years.
Topic,
6 years later.
As far as the Taliban, I think we need to look at individualism. Talibanism went all the way around the world, including China in the 18th centuries, I found out.
Well,
but if we should think individuals, we shouldn't go after this or that, but it is nice that they came to an agreement to get people back home to their U.S. soldiers home, but the others, two wrongs don't make a right.
Well,
I don't know what kind of deal they make.
Well, speaking of which, two wrongs don't make a right. There's a new deal out there that released an army sergeant for the release of some Guantanamo Bay detainees. Okay, and this is already in the works. I mean, he's been released, but it's a bad deal because they're releasing these detainees from Guantanamo.
Yeah, that's what I heard, but still with me?
Huh?
That's what I heard, but, the whole thing was bad where U.S. soldiers were torturing people and stuff.
No, it wasn't torture.
This is like someone's got to put a logical, sane solution. So if we're willing to work with all global countries on bringing people home, dismounting war, chemicals, stop selling weaponry to create war. It's a little better than selling weaponry and handguns to one side, and then the other side going down against the side that they sold the weaponry, and the people that sell the weaponries aren't the soldiers in the field who didn't create this. They're just obligated orders to do on both sides just for profit gain. That's been women's rights. Power to the woman. We need equal pay for everyone across the board.
Yeah, well, Obama doesn't even practice what he preaches. He doesn't pay his female staffers the same as his male staffers.
I'm looking at, the whole gamma, whoever puts the wheel in motion to equal justice. He did speak upon bringing minimum wage up to 10.10.
Yeah, but that's a bad idea, really, because it hurts. It hurts
with
businesses.
The corporation profit gain increase every year.
It's a bad idea to raise the minimum wage because it hurts businesses, and most businesses they have to compensate by raising the price of their products and stuff. So,
what are we going to do?
and plus the taxes have been raised.
Spent 31 years.
The income taxes have been raised too. So you can't raise the minimum wage and raise the taxes at the same time.
And they never changed the tax system for the laborers that made those companies profitable. Ended up paying more and more out of pocket.
No.
I am for this energy agreement.
No, that's a bad idea.
Well, think about the people that have black lung and coal. That's kind of a
no, but look.
industry.
A majority of states get their electricity from coal. Okay, and this EPA thing is going to be disastrous for them. Okay, and it's going to cost them more for their electricity.
Think of this, Will. You take more and more out of the ground, the more the ground's going to shift and move.
No. We need to drill for our own. We need the coal. I'm sick and tired of this global warming. I'm sick and tired of this global warming nonsense that's not even true. Okay? Look. No, we need to drill for our own
technology, battery operated.
No,
but the thing catch-all is they want to be a profitable income. They don't want to sell you a car that'll go around the world just by itself by purchasing the car and driving it.
No, we need to drill
They can make those, but they want profit gain out of the deal.
No, we need to drill for our own.
Buy one car, all you do is pull up, it's got a single cell, you go anywhere, you don't have to fuel. They're not going to come out with that. That'll be the umpteenth, billionth century before they even allow, because they want a profit gain. It's all about profit entities, how much money. Another thing I thought about is the Social Security and people's retirements should be like in an endowment fund that regenerates itself, so people have self-regenerating endowments to retire on it, providing they do the laboring. I just want the veterans, anybody that served after 2 years after duty pay, without a cosigner for a business loan and mortgages, and the banks would flourish in money, and we wouldn't have this housing crisis. But now Cuomo's come up with a complete, all the corporations tax-free, and the laborers are going home, and the rent's going to go up. Any increase they get in their benefits goes towards renting and inflation at the grocery store, and taxes. They force dominate. They don't come down and have a meeting. They impose one side, and then it's like you catch the wind when the taxes go up for the landlord. The landlord has to raise the rent. And if we have minimum wage where it's at, if you you work a full 40, you're only making $950 to $1,000 take home. That's after FICA, disability, labor board, unemployment insurance, and now the rent in Ithaca with all these high-rise houses that aren't paying taxes is $1,200 to $2,200 a room. Who in Ithaca, New York, let alone coast to coast, can live in these places that working full time?
No.
Still with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. Okay, I'm
It's
just.
crazy. All right.
listening.
Well, stay hydrated.
Yeah. All right, man.
All right.
All right.
Peace, Will.
Thank you for your call. All right. Now, we need to pay attention to what's going on here. All right, because things have to, they just have to get more improved here. All right, and all right, so things have to get more improved. All right, because we have now the most scandalous administration in of our time. All right, and things are still shaping up to be in not in the best interest of the American people. All right, because my friends, you know, if you continue down the road we're on, all right, and I want to make this point very, very clear. All right, if you continue to vote Democrat, all right, you're just heading for disaster. All right. You know, the President Obama is relying on the EPA for over-regulation. There's too much regulation in this administration. There was too much regulations in Obamacare. Okay. And now he has ruined the healthcare system. All right. This whole thing is quite interesting. All right, this whole thing is quite on the edge, per se. All right, okay, because we now have a situation here that just blows my mind. All right, it just blows my mind. All right, and we have chaos. Now the terrorists have spread. All right, and can we seriously take a look at this and say that we trust these politicians out there? I don't think so. All right. Okay. But all right, but anyhow, okay. I have to take it to the last words of the night. Okay. All right. And I apologize for anybody that didn't get through to call, but now out of all the out of all the speeches here, okay, I have to take it to the last words of the night. I'm sorry, I can't take that call. All right? But the last words of the night, my friends, come from this general speaker at a commencement. Okay? Take a listen to this.
Command and a former
Okay?
Texas at Austin and giving graduates
Here.
advice on how they could change
All right,
the
take a
world.
listen
Advice
to
based on
this.
what he learned from his
All
SEAL
right.
training.
Here it is.
I was in the boat with the tall guys, but the best boat crew we had was made up of the little guys, the Munchkin crew, we called them. No one was over 5'5". The Munchkin boat crew had one American Indian, one African American, one Polish American, one Greek American, one Italian American, and two tough kids from the Midwest. They out-paddled, outran, and outswam all the other boat crews. The big men in the other boat crews would always make good-natured fun of the tiny little flippers the Munchkins put on their tiny little feet prior to every swim. But somehow these little guys from every corner of the nation and the world always had the last laugh, swimming faster than everyone and reaching the shore long before the rest of us. SEAL training was a great equalizer. Nothing mattered but your will to succeed, not your color, not your ethnic background, not your education, not your social status. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart, not by the size of their flippers.
That very, very, very powerful speech. And now we thank you for watching Political Point Magazine. But next item on the agenda first, before I head out of here, Did you make it to the Ithaca Festival? I was there, but we have a beef with the. I was performing magic, and and I thank you for everybody that watched. But anyhow, we have a beef with the Ithaca Journal here. All right. The Ithaca Journal didn't mention anything about the Magic Man there, who was center right on State and Cayuga, you know, in the raves. All right, so take that into consideration about your Ithaca Journal. All right, they didn't record everything. All right, but anyways, that's the last words of the night, my friends. We thank you for watching Political Point. Follow me on Twitter at WilliamMitro2, and also you can watch us on YouTube. All right. Okay, we thank you for watching Political Point, and I send a shout out to my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman, Felicity. I love you. All right. All right. Thank you for watching Political Point, where the right is right and the left is always on the wrong side of history.